Hey, so we're going to look at how to find test statistics for a one proportion z-test with your spreadsheets. So when I see a claim that fewer than a certain percentage of adults have a cell phone, that's the alternate hypothesis. So we have two claims always, two hypotheses. We have the null and we have the alternate. That's a 0, by the way. They have a colon beside the HO and the H1. They have a parameter, a mean or a proportion. So in this case, it would be a proportion, and then fewer than 92%. That would be the alternate hypothesis, the H1. Fewer than 92%. And then in the null, we get a quality. So always have a quality up there. So equals 92%. So that would be our setup. And based on that, the test statistic is from this poll, this 86%. How does that compare to this? So what you're going to need here is this formula sheet that you're going to be able to use on the final exam, but it's this one right here, Chapter 8, Test Statistics. So this is the one we want, the p hat minus p over all this stuff. So I'm going to pull it over here to the side so I can split screen it with the information up here and spreadsheet. So p hat, I'm going to label it right here, p hat, just type it like that, p, q, and then n. All right, and then once I get I can do all the calculations I need to come up with the test statistic. So p hat is value from the sample. So in a reputable poll of this many adults, this percent, that is the value of p hat. So I'm going to just type it as a decimal, 86%. All right, p is what we're getting from the claim, fewer than 92%. So as a decimal again, 92%. All right, Q is 1 minus P. All right, and notice this Q does not have a hat on it. So it's not Q hat. It's not 1 minus 0.86. It's 1 minus 0.92. So Q is equal to 1 minus, and then I'm going to click the 0.92. All right, and then N is my sample size. That's the 1,066 adults. All right, now I have everything I need here. The only thing you got to be careful about is this is subtraction in the numerator. So I need to put parentheses around it. Alright, so the critical value equals, so I'm going to put an equals in this box, and then I'm going to type exactly what I see, divided by, and then this is square root, and then I'm going to put a parentheses around all of this that's in the square root. That's what I'm going to do, because when I'm using that formula, the formula doesn't need the parentheses because it's got a fraction bar and it's separated and all that. But when I'm typing it in left to right in a spreadsheet, I'm going to need those parentheses. Alright, so equals, open my parentheses, p hat minus p. So click p hat minus, click the p, close that parentheses. Divide by, SQRT is square root. Alright, square root of what? P times q times divided by n. So p times q divided by n, close the parentheses. Alright, and then I hit enter. And there is my ES, test statistic. Right, it only wants 2 decimal places, so I can click in that cell and then click the reduce decimal places until I only have 2 decimal places left. Right, and it'll round it properly for you if you struggle with rounding. So there is my test statistic. So that's the way I can do the test statistic calculation with an Excel spreadsheet helping me.